So one change from the Forest game. Chambers back in for Iorfa. Here's your team, Dave. So Bart in goal.
Yep.
First choice back four. Who was right back, Dave?
Spence.
Come on, you can do better than that.
Spence.
Thank you. Chambers, Webster, Knudsen across the back four. Your two defensive midfielders, Skews and Connolly. Your three attacking midfielders, and they are actually midfielders, Ward, Hughes and Selina. Waghorn up front. No Garner, Dave. What do you think of the team?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think they played really. Obviously Chambers is always going to come straight back in. Mick said that, didn't he? I think if Iorfa had or Spencer had the game of the century and scored a hat-trick from centre-half last week. Chambers is always going to come back in at the expense of Iorfa. Garner away, maybe a bit surprised he didn't come back in for an away game, seeing as we play, but you can't blame him for giving that team, perhaps giving him another few minutes, a half rest, or well, as it turned out, half a rest, and giving that team a go, because Waghorn has done well up front on his own, really, and we'll get to that more, I think, afterwards, because it's go
on. So Borough, no Friend, Fabio in at left back, Ledbetter and Howson sitting, Downing, Braithwaite and Bamford behind a Sombalonga. Quick hands up here. I wasn't at the game this week. I was working yesterday, so it wasn't.
I saw your work yesterday. You did.
Yeah, I got paid to yell Selina on stage.
You got paid to yell Selina. They're very good. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, check out the Twitter. I was involved in a rendition of Tequila, which obviously, if you're as childish as me, could only end one way.
You look like you mouthed it. You mouthed it, didn't you?
Yeah, the man himself liked the tweet as well, so he has. I hope he watched the video. I hope he knows I put my employment at risk. Right, big booming ball straight down the line. The one we used to hate, Dave, by Webster here. Selina catches Christie out with his pace, puts a good ball into the near post. Waghorn can't really do a hell of a lot more. He
behind him.
Sprints in and he's diving at it. Good contact, but can't get any direction with Gibson breathing down his next. Hughes gives it away. Skews with a foul on Bamford. Downing, nice little curvy free kick. Knudsen seems to be interested in having a little grapple with Gibson, and he lets him go, Dave. Left foot, side foot volley, weak one, that.
Yeah.
Ledbetter pulling the strings in midfield, finds Downing, who goes for the Hollywood diagonal ball. Ward's doing his covering on Fabio. He gives him enough space to have a chance, but it's a difficult chance, and he volleys it wide left-footed. Nice break out of defence by Webster again, which we're starting to see. He wants it back off Selina. Selina does that annoying thing where he loses the ball at a really vital moment. Gets blocked out. Middlesbrough counter. Two good passes here forward from Ledbetter and Bamford. Braithwaite onto a Sombalonga. Kind of shrugs Knudsen off the ball. Chambers is over covering, but he gets a good shot away, and Bart does well at the near post. Downing balloons one over after a corner. Nice run and cross from Ward. He's good at that. Ward. Connolly arrives. Falls to Selina, who has a bad first touch for once. Delays a little bit, which probably stitched Hughes up a bit, because Fabio gets back to block his shot. Skews does his 50-50 ball, lifts it into the box. Waghorn tries to control it, but can't get it down. We're going to the first goal right on half-time, Dave. There's a long build-up, so let me just tee this up for you. Borough are attacking. Ipswich have a really good defensive shape. Hughes breaks out of it, takes it to just over halfway, and it looks like he's going to win an attacking throw, but the ball stays in play. Downing picks it up. Ledbetter to Howson. Now Braithwaite comes short outside of the two lines of, well, the four and the two.
Yeah.
And then Downing's on the right, so you can pick it up there, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it's just back to that. Mick had a right go, because he said he blamed Hughes for losing it. That, with decent possession, as you said, that far up the pitch, and he said he should have just sort of chipped it in behind the defence and got him turning. But yeah, I mean, Downing's a quality player. He played for England, played a lot of games in the Premier, and he gets the ball wide right. He's one of these things. He's predominantly left-footed, Downing, but he's playing wide right. Turned on his left foot, which obviously Knudsen, as you would think, he's going to curl the ball in left foot, drops his shoulder. Knudsen flying past him. And to be fair, Downing's a good right-footed deep cross with his weaker foot, supposedly. to the back post, and it's a shitstorm. Then it's a shitstorm in it. I mean, it's just horrible when the Ward gets in the way. The ball sort of like hits Ward, who then collides with Hughes. It's horrible.
I thought Hughes got in the way of Ward.
Yeah, no, I think so. Sorry, yeah. I'd agree with that. Obviously, Hughes has lost the ball, hasn't he? You know, in the attack preceding the goal, so he's obviously running back to try and redeem. I suppose he's getting big bollocks from Mick at that stage, and it's just horrible. And the ball just a bit unlucky, I suppose, just deflects across the 6-yard box to Braithwaite, takes a touch, get out of his feet, hits it, and it's sort of almost. I think Bart gets something on it. The ball sort of bounces in the roof
off his right foot. Yeah, Bart.
Yeah, it's a crap goal. And again, 44th minute, and Mick got it right after the game. You know, and he's what he said after the game just about this goal. He said, you know, nothing much in the game. 44 minutes in, it's just a terrible goal to concede. You know, they go in 0-0. Lost 3 out of the last 4, I believe. Haven't been on a great run. Pressure on them, and of course, you know, half time totally changes things. Score in the 44th minute, poor goal, and they're up, aren't they? You know, not up 1-0, but the spirits are up, and yeah.
So from what I'm seeing, possibly like 4 little mistakes. So Knudsen, you know, gets left on his arse by a good bit of play. Ward and Hughes get in and muddle. Connolly seemed to have a horrible body shape. He's like. And don't get on my back to think I'm just saying what I saw. Connolly had his back turned to.
He doesn't react, does he?
Braithwaite, and then Bart gets a foot on it as well. It's like any one of those 4 guys, and they could have dealt with it, couldn't they?
This just seems a lack of communication. Surely between Hughes and Ward, there's got to be some communication there. You know, my ball. You know, well maybe there was, and he just. That's just.
But Dave, I think you're right. I think Hughes is playing with emotion there, not his brain, because he's probably his boss has just had a good old yell at him on the halfway line, yeah?
Yeah, if anything, by what he said afterwards, he's had a yell at him for losing the ball. Not great. No.
So Garner comes in for Hughes at half-time. We predicted that Hughes has done 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes. He's going to do 80 minutes this week, but he only does 45.
Yeah, I did hear afterwards. They asked about that, and Mick said that he has perhaps a knock on his knee. Didn't play it up. Didn't think it was anything. He said he just had a twinge in his knee. So perhaps he was maybe. I wouldn't have thought he'd have been the obvious choice to come off at half time. Would you? Not generally, but if he's got a slight knock, then it makes sense to bring him off, I guess.
So Garner comes in, and my spies tell me that it wasn't a 4-4-2. That he put Waghorn back into the row. Of 3, and Garner goes up, which I quite kind of like, because he's sticking with the 4-2-3-1. If you heard, I had a really good chat with a Middlesbrough podcaster on the previous show on Friday about the nature of cyclical tactics, how once half the division starts doing a certain thing, everyone has to kind of follow on suit, don't they? To especially when you've got 3 attacking midfielders against, you know, you have to have 2 defensive midfielders then, don't you?
Yeah, I heard some of that. What was his overall, just quickly now you mention it, what was his overall take on Monk?
Not convinced at all. So there's a lot of pressure on him. Similar to us, actually. We thought it'd be a good appointment, but not convinced yet. But Dave, 51st minute, 2-0 here. Bart rolls it out to Webster. His ball doesn't quite reach Selena. Christie
steps in.
Actually does well, but you take over here.
Well, Christie steps in, and this is another bad goal, isn't it? Because where Bamford picks the ball up. So Knudsen's out of position, isn't he? Knudsen's caught out of position. Christie steps in and plays the ball. God, he's a lot. Only perhaps just in our half to Bamford, who's allowed to turn. Knudsen's out of position. So Bamford's allowed to turn on an angle and run at Webster. I don't think Webster covers himself in glory. I think Webster should step up and engage him quicker than that, rather than backing off. You know, even if he take him out 30, 40 yards from goal, but he backs away. It's a great finish. Bamford, you know, transfers the ball on his strong left foot, and it's a good finish. Bart, no chance, just buries it in the corner off the post. Good finish, but I think another poor defensive goal. I think Webster should have stepped out there and like I said, tried to get a challenge in far further up the pitch.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, I think you've nailed it, Dave. It's a good finish in the end, but just really annoying as well. One before half time and one straight after, and then you're pretty much done then, aren't you?
Well, I think it's a fair sort of like symmetry to almost to the Villa game, isn't it?
Okay,
Adoma scores 40 odd, doesn't he? And then perhaps on the hour, does he get his second goal? Something like that. I mean,
you're not that
maybe
you're
a
not
bit
that
later.
far away. And I think
Yeah.
from what I hear, the pattern of play as well sounds similar to the Villa game as well. A couple of little bits of quality and one team sitting back and not much chance of kind of getting back into it.
Ironically, I read that incredibly, that's his first Borough goal since incredibly a hat-trick against Town in April 2015.
Wow. Ipswich attack breaks down, early ball to Bamford, lovely control here. Plays in a Sombalonga. Connolly's running with him, but Knudsen, great diving interception right at the last to block him out, which is kind of good because you can see these games go 3-0, 4-0 sometimes, can't you?
Oh, yeah, crikey, yeah.
Long one up from Bar. Ipswich get the press right this time, win the second ball. Waghorn to Garner. Waghorn gets fouled, ref plays advantage. Selina out to Knudsen, who we've given lots of credit for getting in these positions these days. Crosses it in for Waghorn, Dave, but it's like sort of hip height, isn't it? And he volleys it over.
Yeah, he's going to do well to take that, yeah.
Bishop, Muzarewa and Sears in for Ward and Selina.
Yep.
Downing dribbling into the box here, right-footed, no one there. Garner flicks onto Bishop, gets in, tries a long ranger, which looks like it's deflected, but Randolph saves. Looks like Garner's trying quite hard to make something happen.
Yeah.
Chambers heads across clear, Braithwaite follows in, hits one low at Bar. Nice build-up here. Always nice to see Bishop pulling the strings because he's got a way about him of being quite sort of direct and you know, knocking it forward and trying to play it on the run as well, which is good.
Good to see him get half an hour.
It looked as though Dave Borough had gone into retreat mode and they had loads of men back. Garner has to try a long ranger. Goes well over, Howson 25-yarder and Braithwaite puts a free kick wide. Dave, we're going to do tweets first and then we'll come to you, okay?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Kieran says, within 10 minutes it was clear we didn't like scoring at all. Borough were average, much like us last season at times, just a poor game of football after two very good wins. Jerry says, it felt like we went hoping for a 0-0, and when we went behind there was no coming back. New to the championship, ref was a bit picky. Mullet says, tired legs and head, isolated striker and a lack of spark from the creative players. Chambers and Skews commanding, but too many mistakes from the whole team. After good containment of an opposition massively underachieving, Downing class on the ball, recent fixtures taken toll. And Adam says, similar to Hull away, not taking advantage of a side struggling for form. And I went back to Mullet, Dave, who helped us out at Burton when I wasn't there. So opposition player of the week, he had Downing, left foot was a joy to watch him. And he had Chambers just over Skews as Ipswich's best player. So, Dave, where does Mick go with this? Because on the one hand, you got this away at Derby tactic, which is very, very defensive. On the other extreme, you've got this like 4-2-3-1 against Sunderland with 4 forwards on. What is in the middle there that's going to be a sustainable tactic that you can play against a good team and a bad team?
I just don't know. I think a lot of it's still personnel. I think, Ben, I really do. And trouble is with that, you can't legislate for giving poor goals away at crucial times. You know, Borough are a good side. They've got, and I know Mick bangs on about they've got a summer long. Bamford scored. Who's a 10 million player? Well, okay, you can't argue with it. He is, and so was the Somber longest. Braithwaite, what was he? 7. You know, you're talking almost, they're a team only just come down from the Premier League who are, who, for one reason or another, probably should be with the squad they've got, should be up there. But as far as we're concerned, I think it's purely down to personnel, really. Connolly and Skews, Connolly's done really well. Obviously, I assume that he perhaps wasn't quite on it yesterday. Hughes, still, I thought he was outstanding against Forest, but probably yesterday sounded like he struggled a bit. Still probably trying to get up to match fitness, really. So I think that's got a lot to do with it. As for formation, you just like to see them go somewhere like almost Borough. Okay, it's not because we were above them, but would anyone really expect us to win at Borough, or we did at Derby with that? Just have a go. Just have some sort of go at them. You know, they were low on confidence. And as a coach, manager said at half time, had we gone in 0-0 at half time, a lot of pressure on them. But just we've got to have it. I think these games, which are almost, sounds ridiculous, 3 games for us, just have a go at them. You know.
Yeah. I I
God,
agree with most of what you say.
I mean, one
It
shot,
just
we had
seems
one
to have
shot
gone
on
from
target.
one extreme where
Yeah,
at the end of August on the pitch you had Sears, McGoldrick, Garner and Waghorn, and
yeah,
now I know McGoldrick's not around and Garner's been unfit, but all of a sudden you're going with just Waghorn and the row of three behind are all
yes,
actually midfielders now. But
yeah.
I agree with you because you look at the month and you're like, right, if you beat Forest, Reading and QPR,
QPR. You got 3 home games.
yeah,
Yeah,
pick up a
exactly.
draw against Derby and just do your best against Wolves and
Yeah, well,
Middlesbrough. You
you're ahead of the
know,
game. You're ahead of the game. You know, that 3 points for a win. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what frustrated me. And I mean, you read the tweets, you look at the TWT forum, and people have got a right to say, I don't know, 450-mile, whatever it was, probably close to 500-mile round trip to see us not really, not to say really have a go. Yeah, well, yeah, not really have a decent go at trying to win the game. I don't know. That sort of harks back a little bit to last season, but at least this season. Perhaps there was reasons for yesterday. No McGoldrick, no fully fit Garner. At least you've got that. Last season we had nothing like that, did we?
and Dave Mick would argue that if he'd got to half time at 0-0, that he could
He wouldn't do
have.
any different.
But he could have made some
Well,
kind of
okay.
plan
Yeah,
to
yeah. I
come
guess he
out
could have done.
come out a
Yeah,
little bit more in the second. He could have said to
yeah.
him, right, 60
Keep it tight.
minutes, keep in, and then Garner's coming in at 60 minutes, and
Good point.
we're going to
Yeah,
drop Waghorn back, and
yeah,
this is what we're gonna do. And I
yeah.
don't know. You're right though. But Dave, more minutes for Hughes and Bishop, and apparently McGoldrick and Adeyemi both training as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think McGoldrick more so. I mean, I heard Mick say in I think it was his press conference, wasn't it, or something on Radio Suffolk that because they were talking about McGoldrick end of the month, but he said, no, he's going to be in contention next, for Saturday.
Oh, great.
For the Saturday. And I think probably there is in that. I mean, it's stitches in it, so stitches here. It's not like a groin. It's you don't have to sort of be too careful. It's not like a groin strain, a hammy, or something like that. It's just we know what it was. It was just stitches and stuff like that. But probably a fortnight they heal up. You start full training again, and away we go. So that's really good news. Yeah, you do want him back. And Garner had a half. Hopefully Garner got through that as fit. And hopefully, fingers crossed, there's not too much wrong with Hughes. No doubt Adeyemi will take. I'd have thought he'd have it under 23 or whatever reserve game to get, or 1 or 2 to get up to speed. He really hasn't played since.
Well, and like you say, Connolly has made Mick's life a lot easier in that regard by being so reliable in the and
versatile,
scoring all those goals as well.
Yeah. No,
superb.
I think really disappointing. Reading between the lines yesterday, just disappointing that we didn't have more of a game that with 3 home games this month that you can sort of say. I said it before, that almost a free game, But anyway.
Yeah, we'll be feeling very differently if it's a win against Reading.
Oh yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Like we say, context is all when you look at these groups of games, and maybe it won't be 5 actual midfielders and 1 forward next week. Maybe it might be,
You think not? You think they'll have at least a couple up there, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I just remember saying to the Middlesbrough guy on the previous show, next time we play them is last game of the season. I hope there's something on it for both teams.
Oh, is it? That's interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, does he think they can put together a sustained run and get in the playoffs?
He does. He thinks he thought top 2 was gone.
Oh, that's gone. You think that's gone. But yeah, you think, looking at their squad, you would think, bloody hell. Yeah, they've got the personnel there.
Okay, so let's go to the roundup, Dave.